Greetings, Queen.
Greetings, King. How are you?
I'm great. I can't complain. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What are we talking about today? What's the topic of this live?
Our topic today, just be you. Can't get no plan. Be you.
Can't get no plainer. In
Can't get no plan.
actuality,
So we're gonna use this. We're gonna use that word in this sentence. Plan. Can't get no plan. So
I
yeah,
don't I don't think I don't think it's being plain. To me, BU is just as big as if. Like you know how people's like if is two letters, but I feel like it's bigger than what it actually like when people use it, it's bigger than actually what they think. So that's basically what it is. So to everyone, welcome to another edition of MEN-talRollaDeK. The show be hosted by Queen Prashay and co-host King, of
yeah,
course. Um,
man.
welcome. And as she stated, the title is Just Be You. And I feel like that is a difficult thing for certain people right now. I go even further to say, who are you? And they probably give me their title, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm Prashay Gibson, and no, that's your title. Who are you? Have you actually spent time with yourself enough to know who you are? Because everything that we so-called know was passed forth by somebody else. So all that we ingest came from somebody else
Oh yeah.
versus ourselves. So talk to them, Queen.
Well,
Why that
I
title?
I chose. I'm getting comfortable. I'm getting comfortable. So I chose that title because a lot of us, when I say us, I mean us in general, a lot of us have this idea, the things that we do or the titles that we carry or the university we attended somehow, some way defines who we are as a person. And it doesn't. It's just what it is. It's a title. I think so many times we make the mistake of just going through life and not even sitting down with ourselves, that we really don't know who we are. We make ourselves so busy in this world of chaos. We constantly, we moving, we shaking. By the time we sit still, we're in the bed getting ready to go to sleep and start all over again the next day. But not one time that we actually sat down and just had a moment of, whether if it's just being still, listening to an instrumental, nothing with lyrics, an instrumental, just to kind of bask in who we are. I have on my mirror, I have on my mirror right before I exit. I'm looking up there because I'm looking at the mirror. But right before I exit, I look in my mirror and I said, I love me some me. And that's just something, that's just a mantra for me after, before I exit out into the world. Um, just in case somebody may say or think otherwise. But I love me some me. And I think it's really important for us to take time. Right before the show today, I did a 18-minute meditation, you know, uh, where I can just kind of be in the vein for tonight, because I'm still nervous, even though you don't believe that I am. I'm still nervous whenever I come on. So I want to be the best Shay or Sister Shay when I come to a platform, whether if I'm here with you on this podcast or whether if I'm standing up to a mic emceeing or getting ready to do some poetry. I want to be the best Shay, the best Sister Shay, and but in order for me to be there, I have to know who I am. And I've always been that person that was a little bit different than the rest of her friends. And but I was okay with that. I was really okay with that. So I want to ask you a question. When did you know? Because because of the road that you're traveling right now, and you have like this plethora of experience, and you just have like this old soul. I love it. When did you notice? I do. When did you notice that you were different than? It could be different than your siblings or your friends. When did you know that it was something uniquely different about yourself?
Honestly, I'm still searching and gravitating towards me because every day we changed. And I I know I was not your typical male based on my searching for an identity. Like I noticed, like, even when I would get in confrontations, it would be like a forced confrontation because it's like I'm forcing myself to argue with people. That's one way I found out I was different. And I wasn't really upset, but because they were talking shit, right? I had to figure out a way to come back. So, all right, you're popping off, so I'm gonna find something that's just as tasteless as what you're saying, just to get back that feeling you passed forth to me. So, see, that was me in high school. Like the yearning for attention. And that's not the me now. The me now learned how to remove people and how to let them go when I asked my ancestors to grant me that ability to remove people from my life or my circle. And now, still discovering, I'm still learning because the information is vast, right? And I realized that everything that I knew, I need to unlearn it because it's not of me, right? So the reason why I say I'm still searching is because I don't really know who I am without the identity. See, the identity is Jermaine, right? Jermaine L. Johnson. That's the identity. That's the name, the title that was given by my mom, right?
Mhm.
But take away the name. Who is this man that is 6'3", tall, that stands and pretty much like demands respect? Who is this man that when he walks outside without speaking, other people, what's up, King? My energy is different. I'm still learning about this man, right? This is just a part of me. The flesh is a part of me, but it's not me, right? Because everything that's within this flesh is of somebody else, whether through schooling, whether through the programs we watch, whether through the frequency we listen on the radio, whether the sites we see on a daily basis. It's a makeup of every single energy, you know? So through meditation, I've actually sat back and starting to figure out who I am. Like when I get silent, I'm more powerful. I realize I can create things not only with my mind, but within my soul. So that's how I know I'm different. And certain things that people gravitate to, I don't gravitate to. Like I might take a glass of a wine once every blue moon, or I might if my brother say, "Hey King, let's go somewhere." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll pass." I'm not the club type. I don't do that. I'm sitting down like most of the time, whether I'm doing music or I'm thinking, like I'm always in my consciousness, right? I speak to myself, whether through affirmations or through stillness. I talk to me. And I started realizing certain things. Like before, it was like, oh, the nigger. Like I'm like, I'm calling somebody that resemble me a nigga and this, that, and the third. That's not me. So I'm like, I need to change this trajectory. What's up,
Right,
King?
right.
What's up, Queen? I'm like, that
What's up,
felt
man?
yeah, that felt better. Like that felt better within me. And then, you might say thank you. I'm like, gratitude, because gratitude goes so much further than thank you, you know? And I've learned to take accountability for my steps and every cause and effect that surrounds me. And that's the difference with me. And that's how I know I'm different. Apart from the stories my mom had when I was younger, like, yo, dude used to walk around and point out every entity that was walking among us. But now, like I'm tapped into that times 10. It's all about the upliftment of not only other kings, but of you queens. And I'm I'm yearning for um information. I'm like my own sponge and filter. And also I'm an empath, so like a lot of people are unaware that I can tell when they're bullshitting me. But I will still let them stay there and bullshit me and don't make them any wiser, you know? And
Yeah.
and that's how I know that I am not the same as even though we have the same frequency of source energy. That's how I know I differ from everyone else.
Hey, Queen.
Greetings, how's everyone?
Good. How are you?
I'm 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 flowing.
Oh, hey, you here, so you do more than flowing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ri- Rich said to be you is to be free. You know, he speaks in a lot of parables. He's the holistic one, positive
Mighty
energy.
Lamar.
My guy, Rich, aka Lamar.
Mr. Positive Energy.
My guy, that's my guy right there, man.
All the time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Queen. That answer your question well
Yeah,
enough?
it did. I mean, that was yeah, most definitely. You know, I too, like you. Uh, yeah, I'm still growing. I'm still learning a lot about myself. Uh, but is I'm enjoying my. Some people don't like to get to that side because they want to stay in one particular area. But I've never been that person. I've always been different. Even as a kid, I've always been. Uh, I was never a peer pressure person. So, I let people, if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. I'm not joining in. Um, I never smoked anything ever in my life, ever, 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 And, my friends, they did it. It's cool. I never gravitated towards that. But the thing that I loved about my journey of just loving me, I took a lot of time, even as a kid, just enjoying myself to the point one summer my mom made me go outside. She just felt like that it was not healthy for me to be inside. But because um, I was my brother's protector, I felt like going outside was a conflict of interest, so I didn't want to make no friends just in case I had to whoop some ass. So I stayed inside and I enjoyed music. I listened to my music and dance because I was pop locking. I'm telling my age now. I was pop locking when it was out the first time originally, and
Hmm.
so that was my thing. But I enjoyed being in my own element to the point that my mom didn't even worry about it. But I mean? is when I was dancing, I was the only girl in the group. So I would have like four guys in my mom's living room, and we're dancing and we're practicing for a talent show. And when 8 o'clock came, I was like, all right, y'all got to go. Oh, well, we didn't finish up. I said, but it's 8 o'clock. My mom said, y'all got to be out of here by 8. Let's wrap this up, you know. And then that was it. And they leave, and I'm just chilling. You know, I was just Pache, the cool sister, you know. And but I had no problem walking in my own light. I knew that it was there. I knew that I had a presence, that when I came into the room, people knew that I was there and wanted to know who I was, even though, you know, I may not have been, quote unquote, you know, anybody of that type of status. But when I came into the room, you knew that I was there. Uh, but I'm one of those people. I stay low in the cut. I'm not braggadocious. I'm not. I'm just chilling. And then when it's time for me to hit the mic, I hit the mic. It was like, she been sitting there the whole time and didn't say nothing. And then I get up there, do my thing, and you know. But that's just been me. And I've always walked in different frequencies of my friends, and I've always been okay with that. My friends had an issue with it, but I had no problems with being by myself and just really learning who I am and how the creator wanted to navigate through me. And I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. So my journey was different. It was powerful at the same.
Speaking about that, maybe one day we're gonna do some shrooms together. Um, I saw her
That's
face.
bad. Did my face show that? Did y'all see that?
Yo, did y'all see how one eye stayed straight and the other one went left?
I know. I felt it. I felt it. That's why I was like, okay.
You be doing shrooms by yourself. You might as well do it together. Anyway, but I'm the same way as well. Like I kind of always isolated myself, and I never gravitated to what most people claim they gravitated to, like at the end of the day. But for some particular reason, I never liked people telling me how I felt inside. Like, if you want to piss me off, aim to tell me how I feel inside. That's one thing like I was always against. You know, like don't aim to tell me who I am, because the person you're imitating is not even you.
Mhm.
You know, like I I looked at myself different. I maneuvered different. You know, certain crowds walk this way, I walk the next way. Like I felt like I had to give a gab to get myself out of any circumstances. Like I probably talked my way out of a out of a bad situation in a heartbeat. You know, and you're right. Most people can't accept that because they don't know how to be alone.
Right. Right.
I'll be in the crib for weeks and you don't know I'm in the crib,
Mhm.
right? And I'm maneuvering because I understand that the love that we must pass forth, we have to give to self first. And there's one thing I've always realized within this circumference of life is that um if you're weak, you can't carry the next person, right? If you're lost, you can't help somebody find their way. If you're without love, you can't pass love forward.
That's right.
It's just all a facade. And what I realized within this circumference of life is people lie to themselves on a daily basis. And before I used to think like I must be around these people to be accepted, like to look for that acceptance, but it's not what I was missing. And a queen told me this. She's like, you need to be around like-minded people that gets you, because if you're in a circle and you keep teaching the circle and you're the only one teaching, that's not the right circle for you.
Yeah,
And
because
things
you want
that
to get a chance to learn.
Yeah,
You
and things that people was looking at me like, "Oh, you're weird," was normal to the people that I need to be amongst, like yourself, the Rich Lamar, the Shanae, the Adisha, and so on and so forth. And then I started gravitating to certain forms of energy, and I started realizing like, yo, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. For me to stand here and try to prove something to you is to show you that I don't know me, or I am not one with my balance or source energy. Most of the time when I'm out of balance is because I'm second guessing myself, right? There's a con there's a
That's
con there's a problem between my heart, which is my true brain that wants to flow one way, and consciousness, which is of the world, that wants to go the next way. So one of my big practices that I've been doing now and continue to do is learning how to synchronize the two, because anything you conjure within the CPU of yours, it has to be amplified by the feeling of the heart, and together they bring forth those things into this realm and this dimension. So we have to synchronize both, and that's that. What about you, Shanae?
What about me? So, um, I was actually sitting here kind of going through my head with my thoughts and thinking back as the both of you um presented your experiences. And as far back as I can remember, I've always been one of not too many words. I've always been one to sit back and, if I entered a room, I would want to sit towards the back of the room or in the corner so I could just observe all of the people, the energy of the room. I didn't know that's what I was looking at before, when I was young, but I never wanted to really too much engage in any environment due to I could feel everything that was going on in the room. So I just didn't have many words. And the reason I would sit back and I would watch, because it allowed me to be able to process the whole situation. So then I would know how to respond to it. And I was always one who people was like, oh, she was really, really quiet. Oh, yeah, I remember her from school. She never did really talk too much. I mean, in fact, this is the most I've ever really spoken live. And so it wasn't that I didn't really talk. I wasn't like everyone else. And I would speak when I needed to speak. And everyone else around, just everyone always had something to say, or everyone had an opinion. And I just wasn't one to really too much have an opinion. I just really was watching everyone to see what their behavior patterns was like. So over time, you're labeled as oh, don't mess with her, she crazy, she don't talk. But it wasn't that. I just didn't have much to say unless I needed to speak. You know what I mean? And the times when I would feel like I needed to speak was when I felt like somebody else's energy was invading my space. So when I felt like they were invading my space, I would either get away from them or I would emotionally respond to them. And when I would respond to them, it would be in a manner that they would felt like I was a mean person, but I wasn't really a mean person. I just had a very, very low tolerance for I called it, like, to me, their energy was weird to me, because I was very reserved and didn't have too much to say. So now for me, I know Miss Pache, you like, I never smoked, I never did anything. Um, in my high school years, I actually all of my friends smoked weed, so I kind of did too. I mean, I did a lot. But when I had my first child, I completely stopped everything because it required me to refocus in a certain way. And again, it just goes back to me. I've always had that certain focus and that certain way that I looked at things. So I guess to some degree, yeah, I was different, and I always stayed within my space until somebody invaded my space.
Hmm. And it's so funny because you and I were pretty much like the same way. Um, I didn't have, I mean, I had close friends, but I was always the person that's kind of like in the background.
Hmm.
My girlfriends, we hang out. I'm the person that, nobody notices, but I'm there. And but my presence is strong. Even when I would
Hmm.
go to open mics, poetry readings, whether if I'm being featured or not, or if it's just an open mic and I'm signing my name on a list. I was like you. I would get in the table in a corner. I'm sitting there by myself. Because a lot of times I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of things by myself, concerts, everything. Take myself out to,
Why?
I do all of that.
Why is
But
that?
Hmm.
why
Why
is
is
that?
that?
Because I do it because I love me some, and I have gotten so disappointed with asking people to be places or go somewhere with me, and they can't go, they can't make it. So I just stopped asking. I don't ask anymore. I just
Or
go. Like if I feel like I
or
want to drive,
Mr. Shea,
huh?
or I'm sure you had this experience also, which is why this may lead up to you to what happened when I started to venture out on my own. You get somewhere with everyone and they get on your damn nerves,
Yes.
right? Like you
Even
get you get you link up with this a couple of people, and it's like once you get to the venue or the event, you sit there and you like, man, they getting on my damn nerves. Why did I even come out with these people? And it's
Right.
it begins to become a whole situation where in our mind we was already telling ourselves we didn't want to go, right? Am I right, Mr. Shea? But then we bring ourselves to go and we're out here with these people and it's like, I don't want to do this no more. So that's what started me. I don't know if that's the same path that you were on.
I got a better
Yes.
example. I got a better example. Like, all right. I think it wasn't that they get on your nerves. I think it gravitate more to them not comprehending the frequency. They're not in alignment with you. See, on one hand, they want to do the typical stuff. And then on the other hand, you look at it as a waste of time, right? So if something is not in alignment, it becomes problematic. So I used to have people tell me a lot, I act like I know everything, but I never went around saying I know everything, right? It's your
No,
insecure it's your insecurities. You feel I know everything. So all these labels were placed on you by these people due to their own insecurities, right? So most of them were actually gravitating towards you because they know the type of energy that you have. You fulfill them, but they don't fulfill you.
yeah.
And that's an issue. See, I look at it on a grander scale. You ever have somebody call you and every time they call you, it's to take your energy? And
Woo!
you realize it changes up, and on the minute when you're talking to them, they come on the phone depressed, and by the time they left, they're happy as whatever they're happier than a gay pride parade, right?
Hmm.
And when they leave you, you be like, what the hell, you feel drained.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons is because when they do, they're dumping everything that they have in your lap. So they're
And
they're they're constantly, you know, withdrawing all of your energy, but they're not depositing anything but junk. You know what I'm saying? And so by the time they get off the phone and you've given them all you got, you've given them all your most inspirational wording, and you pumping them up, you're encouraging them. By the time you do that and they're excited, thank you so much, I appreciate you. They hang up and you're there like, wow. And you have nobody else to kind of, fill you back up. I mean, you have just did it. And I mean, I had a friend that was like that. She is the reason. She is the reason that I turned my ringer off at night because that's what she would do. She would call me in the middle of the night. I answer the phone. She is in a full-fledged cry, and she would dump, 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 dump everything. To
Well, you
the
know
point
what
that
I realized. Oh, go ahead, Miss Patricia.
I mean, she would dump so much. I would be angry. I would be so angry that by the time we hang up, I cannot sleep. And I mean, when I tell you I turn my ring off at night, and this has been well over 10 years now, and people get mad because they call and they stuck on the side of the road, whatever it is, my ring is off. I don't turn my ring off until I wake up in the morning. That's it.
Queen,
But
Queen,
yes,
it's Queen Shanae. Go ahead and say what you needed to say. I'm gonna make my point after.
Okay, so this is what I've realized about that, as I'm one that's been on both spectrums of that. And what I've realized is because I've been that person who didn't always have anything good to say, right? But I've also been that inspiring person. And what I picked up from those experiences is there's some people who only want to hear the bad, right? But then when you make a transition and you've moved to a different place and now you're coming back to that person and you're sharing your transitional experience, then they don't want to talk to you so much, right? So some people invite that type of energy. Some people they, it's like
Two two
some
seven
people
every day.
well, yeah, some people it's like, okay, like that, like 227 every day, right? But then if they watch you transition into something else, they don't really want to hear it anymore. But they always showed up when you had something negative to say, if that makes any sense.
It
So
makes a lot.
then when you switch positions, it's like, okay, now I could call you anytime it was negative, but now that I've switched positions, but I didn't switch position in the position that you wanted to see me switch in, now it's a problem.
See,
Or let me finish. Or you have the person that now you're on the other spectrum and you have a person that's calling you and they telling you A, B, C, and D, right? So then you offer up solutions. They don't really want solutions. It's almost like sometimes people just need an ear. And I get that part. But what we have to do is set boundaries. Like that's what I learned from both those situations. And it's not setting boundaries with the other person, it's actually setting our own boundaries for ourselves.
are you finished? Cause,
Maybe. Yeah, I'm
cause you,
finished.
cause you sound like you wanted to beat my ass a few seconds ago, but okay.
I didn't sound like I wanted to beat my ass, but I mean beat
Let
your
me
ass, but
let me
but
finish.
you
Let me
like
finish. Let me finish.
look, okay, you guys got to excuse me today. I'm not,
Fam, fam, no need
okay?
to explain,
You
fam.
know
But
where I'm
you,
at.
you got to
Now,
relax. You got to
go
relax.
ahead and take the floor.
I'm just jeering you. You got to relax. Let me finish. Sound
All
like
right, go,
you sound like Rich Lamar. Can I make my point?
go
Um,
ahead, go ahead.
it's funny how he's not in the show, but he's always in the show, right? I love you, King.
right, all
Um,
the time.
that's my guy.
Oh,
But
he said, oh, look at his comment too. He said, well, once you're finished, did any of you ever want to be wanted to be someone else? Okay,
we
go
gonna
ahead.
we gonna save that for a minute because I put that up there for like the past 20 minutes here. I didn't see it. So there's something that I noticed, right? Um, and I've learned this from the book called The Tattered Soul, right? So, um, we take things that are around us for granted. Like, for instance, the trees are the reason we have oxygen. It's the reason why we breathe, right? But we never walked up to the tree and examined it and realized that it has a multitude of colors. Like, springtime's coming around. It left from no leaves. This is the universe, like nature. It left from no leaf in the wintertime, supposedly at a dead state, right? Then it becomes awoken when March 21 comes around, springtime. And no leaf on the tree is the exact same. So what I'm saying is, within this rigid society, we focus more on what we're programmed to focus on, not what nature wants us to focus on. So what we do is, instead of releasing the energy that people pass forth to us, we hold on to it because we feel guilty within a sense. We feel like, oh, especially if you're a Cancer, if somebody give you a kind gesture, it doesn't mean they actually give a shit about you. You know, they just gave you a kind gesture. Instead of looking at it as a kind gesture, we take it beyond, like, shit, you got a friend in me for life, and we want to ride, right? But those people, they want to get off, right? So what we do is we let them dump this shit on us, and we hold on to their shitty energy instead of letting it pass through. So now what I start doing when I start speaking to certain people, what I say within myself is, I pass forth back your energy that you came with back onto you. It will not stay within, but it will come back to you. Keep your gift. And when I say that, it's like I feel it moving and rippling through my body and going back to them, and I feel like I can breathe again, like something lift off of my shoulders. Before, I used to hold on to these things, not realizing why I'm acting crazy. It wasn't the fact that I was upset, it wasn't my energy. And these people, believe it or not, they know who you are because they got eyes to see who you are. Like, they can even see who you become before you become it. Right? But sometimes they're just there to keep you on their frequency. And you be like, oh, they've been there for years. This is my peeps and da 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 da. But your peeps is sucking your energy. Your peeps is off of rockers or whoever they are. Like, they're not within alignment with you. So when I started playing with source energy and start asking for certain things and believing it and starting to watch the pieces move out of my way, is nothing greater. Like, it's a powerful thing.
I, you
You know,
know, I mean, and the thing of it is that it is a powerful, and instead of them looking at it as an asset, they'll look at it as almost a threat. You know, they kind of threatened by it because they don't know, they
competition.
really don't, right, they really don't know how to perceive it. You know, and instead of them, you know, loving on that, that's, you know, just like, you know, Shanae was mentioning earlier, you know, whenever you're on a different frequency, and instead of them uh instead of them seeing where you are, they feel like, oh my God, oh, you think you all that, or what's going on with you? You used to, or stop acting brand new, whatever, you know, whatever the quote may be at that moment. But when you're kind of flowing by yourself and you're confident in your flow, I don't have to have an entourage. I don't have to be in an entourage. I can I can pretty much flow by myself. If we're gonna meet somewhere, I'm going in my car. I'll meet you when I get there. When I get tired, you know, or if I feel like this conversation or this gathering is not conducive to my personality, I'll leave. And I'm okay with that. It's no, I'm like, all right, y'all, I had a good time. I'll talk to y'all later. And I'll go ahead and leave. But my personality, you know, just taking the time and getting to know me and my frequency and where I am, and through meditation. And I don't have it all together yet, but I am on a journey to do so. I'm loving the energy and the positive people that I'm surrounding myself with. You guys are absolutely amazing because y'all, you know, I was telling Jermaine earlier, y'all help me be, you know, y'all help me, you know, into becoming the best cliche or the best sister Shay or whatever. And I enjoy that because it shows me that I'm not by myself. I've been by myself for a long time. When I say by myself, you know, in the sense of spirit wise, of energy, I've been by myself. And
If you
but
see me
my family,
laughing, If
Huh?
you see me, I'm sorry. If you see me laughing, it has nothing to do with you. You know who I'm laughing at.
Okay, yeah. That
So,
dude.
so this guy said he wanted to be O.J. Simpson.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. Let's go back to his question. Now, everybody see the question. So he said, did anyone?
How is he gonna not be on the show and still affecting the show the way that he is? That's what I want to.
He
Because
wanted to be
that's that
OJ Simpson.
that's that energy. Um so Prashay, who you wanted to be when you was younger? You wanted to be anybody else when you was younger?
The only person that I desired to want to be was Maya Angelou.
We can't be in love with the same woman. All right.
Hey, look, I had a connection with her. I hugged her and I opened up for her. So mine's
Are you
trump yours. So,
are you popping style? Like you trying to make me feel bad?
hey,
All right. Say less, say less. I'm gonna go in my corner right now and go pout my lip up. Shanae, who you wanted to be?
I got that energy from her, man. I opened up for her and I got a chance to hug her. Bam. And then you know what she told me? I got to share. You know what she told me?
What
Because
she
I
told
didn't
you?
do my own poetry. I wasn't performing my own work. So I did a poem called Negro Mother by Langston Hughes. And when we were helping her into her seat, me and another guy. I had one arm and the guy had the other one. And she hugged us and thanked us. And I told her, I said, "Oh my God, I love you." That's what I told her, right? She said, "Were you the one just speaking?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Oh, and look, this is what she said. She said, "Oh my, the Langston would be so." I was like, "Yes, damn, give me that." I was,
Oh
hey,
man. Oh
yeah, that
man.
was good, man. So she was on I can say that I wanted to be, be like or, you know, uh, yeah, she
Oh
was
man.
amazing.
Hey, Shanae, who you wanted to be?
So, honestly, I wanted to be like my mom. My mother was in health. She was a pharmaceutical tech, right? And I would watch my mom, and I would go to work with her, and so I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be like my mom when I was younger. That was like the only person that I really wanted to be like.
That's funny because I remember like '96 when I first touched down in New York and I heard rap music. Like I was introduced to hip hop. The first album I ever got was a Jay-Z album, Reasonable Doubt, right? Everything I know now is I gravitated to later on. So like my mannerisms and everything, like even through high school, like everybody used to call me Jay because it's funny. My name is both my names are spelled with J and whatever. So everybody used to call me Jay. So it's like go through the high school, it's the DAP. Then we had this pound where we'll put up the rock and like yeah, I went through that moment. Like even through a phase of my music, it was like I started to sound like dude. And then I started look at it like my producer's like, hey King, use your natural voice. Like I was so in tune with dude, like even when I use my natural voice, it sounds like him, flow, everything. And then I found myself musically, right? And then I realized my voice is doper. And but he influenced me. So at a point I wanted to I had a multitude of people I wanted to be, fam. I hated soccer. How old was I? When I was young, I wanted to be Pele. Like I hated soccer. Like, come on, like he's a Jamaican that don't like soccer. But I hated soccer because I was traumatized by my uncle. Like he slide tackled my ass and got this big gash down my leg. So I end up like spoke soccer. I want to do soccer or whatever. But I love Pele, right? And I used to find myself going for certain athletes like me. I was a big Kevin Garnett fan because I felt like our attitudes was the same. Like I didn't give a shit. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. I'm gonna do this or whatever. And but there's so much. But I'm happy that I am who I am. I am me. I no longer second guess myself, and I walk within the vibration that I'm supposed to walk to. So now I call this my our band of misfits, because we all have something that we bring forth, not only to this platform, but the way we chop it up and the way we resonate, from the Rich Lamars to the Pache Gibson, the Shanae, and the Baba Yashe, and like a multitude of people that's around me. It's like my own fraternity of people that bring forth something that like pretty much flow within that alignment, you know. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And there's plenty more to come, basically, you know. Even though I feel like the baby within the group of my elders. I love my elders. You guys are awesome.
Why you gotta make it
Elders.
sound like you're so old, man?
I love.
Elders.
You're rich. You're not 20. Cut it out. Um but he wanted to walk like OJ Simpson. He wanted to
Man, that's
be OJ
right
when he
there.
was a kid. Hey, Rich, get the glove.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, you know what though? When I think of music on a music level, there was this group in Pache. I know you know this group, and Rich knows this group.
Damn.
My mom listened to called Club Nouveau, and there was and Valerie and Club Nouveau. Girl, I thought I was her. I wanted to be Valerie so bad, to where they came to California in concert, and I was 11 years old, and my mom had to take me to the concert. That's how bad it was. And I remember she got me an outfit just like hers. And yeah, I thought I was Valerie. That's who I wanted to be.
I just heard Rich told you to take your ass to bed. You don't know nothing about that.
Club Nouveau. That's who I'm telling you. My mom,
Man,
she was, yes, Club Nouveau. That I wanted to be the lady lead
uh,
singer in Club Nouveau.
she was fine though. Okay, let me ask you this: when you saw Club Nouveau, who else was in concert with?
Michael Cooper.
Okay, so when I saw,
And uh-huh.
who who
That's
else?
all I remember. Club Nouveau and Michael Cooper.
So
this is
it
the
was
moment.
when I saw them. I'm about to go way back. Rich Lamar, I know this person right here, Johnny Kemp.
And guys, this is the segment of the show that Jermaine don't know what's going on. So
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Let's roll with
as
it.
a youngster, I'm going to mute my mic and step back.
So Shanae, it was Johnny
Yeah.
Kemp. That's the dude that sung "Just Got Paid" Friday night,
Oh, I know the song. I don't know his name. Okay. Yeah, my
and
mom loved that. Yep. Hmm.
Bobby Brown. But it was Bobby Brown with "I Need a Girlfriend." That's Bobby Brown.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then it was Club Nouveau and "Ready
Uh-huh.
for the World." Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I know about Ready for the World also from my mom as well, but I didn't really care. The only ones I enjoy, I like Club Nouveau. That was my group.
Um,
Oh wow.
Rich,
Yeah. Club
Rich,
Nouveau was a joint.
Rich said, "Did y'all ever meet someone you admire and after you met them, you didn't like them anymore?"
Yes. Yes.
Tell your story.
Okay. When I was doing radio, the person that I admired and was crushing on, I met that dude. That was Morris Chestnut. And in the same night, uh, Tyrese, because we did an event that was for Valentine's Day, ladies' night event. We had was 112. We flew 112 in. They came in, and it just so happened Tyrese was in the studio with 112. So he just got on the plane because they had a little jet. They flew from Atlanta to Shreveport. So he just got on, got on the plane and knew, it's like, well, I'm just gonna roll with y'all and I'll fly back. And that's what he did. Well, Morris Chestnut was the MC for that night. And 112 was performing, and Tyrese was just hanging out. So
You talking
when
about
I
the
met this
actor?
dude, Yes. This dude had us standing downstairs waiting for him. He's the host. We cannot start the event. He's gotten paid, and we're standing downstairs for 2 hours. So the young lady whose car we was picking them up in, that's when the Tahoe just came out. She had a nice one. We picked him up in style. He came downstairs with his entourage, 2 other dudes, and a chick. I was hot. So needless to say, the tourists came out. And so when they were coming, getting in, and his I guess manager or whatever said, look like somebody not gonna have a seat. I said, let me tell you what's gonna happen. Look here, cat, let me tell you something. Because anytime I start the phrase off of look here, cat, it's about to be an issue. I said, look here, cat, let me tell you something. I said, y'all gonna sit y'all asses back there, squished up and everything. We don't sat downstairs 2 hours and people are waiting on y'all. So I suggest that nobody says anything about the seat and accommodations in this vehicle. After I said that, was a wrap. Everybody was quiet. I was pissed off. Pissed. So, and he was so arrogant and cocky. Man, that dude can't even walk up to me and say hi. I'm gonna walk past him like he is invisible. And then Tyrese was just a butt. And then the two of them had to, hey man, let me holler at you. Yeah, we gonna have to do something together. And I was looking at them like, nah. And Tyrese, I was sitting behind him in a vehicle when, because he was riding with us. And I was like, man, I know who this dude is, because I wasn't thinking that he was going to be flowing with us. So, I was like, man, who is this? Who is this? And so the young lady she said, well, who are you? And he said Tyrese. And so she said, oh, the model, because she was thinking Tyson Beckford. But I knew who he was, but I was sitting behind him. I was like, oh my God, I love your music. And I said, I think you're an awesome artist. Thank you. And then he told her, he didn't tell her anything. He reached over and turned her AC off. It's hot. Talking about something, I got to save my voice. This ain't your car, and it just was not a good night. So I was so over celebrities at that moment. And, but yeah, you look at them on screen and you hear them speak. And then when you meet them in person, they're like buttholes. And it just really kind of division. So Tyrese and Morris no go.
I've never had that experience. And the crazy thing was like, there's a point in my life where I did security for 3 years. So the mall that I was doing security at, every month they would have a celebrity there. I felt like Bow Wow was an a-hole. There's a couple other them that was an a-hole. I feel like one of the realest celebs I've ever met was Kirk Franklin. Being a guard at that particular time, I was in the back. He came out and he stepped to me and said, and shook my hand and said, thank you, brother. Right?
Wow.
The rest of them would skedaddle and walk by, even if you're like this close to them, because they feel like I never looked at celebrities like everybody else look at them, just screaming, whatever. And then one night, I don't know if you guys were ever in Atlanta or heard the show. The show is called In the Nick of Time. And Morris Chestnut was in that show. Avant was in that show. And I took my girlfriend at the time to see it. It was her birthday. And walking, that's when T.I. was a big thing. When I say T.I. pulled up beside us and the grill dude gave me, and I looked at my girl like, what the is he looking at? Like, what's wrong with these Georgia dudes? Like, does a rapper have to wake up harder than 6 o'clock all the time? Like, the look on his face was in disgust. Like, one of the most humblest artists I ever seen and met was also Young Jeezy. He acts like he's one of the homeboys. He don't get a certain way. J. Cole is dope. Wale to me is an a-hole. Black Cobain is dope. I haven't met Jay, but I've been to concerts of Jay. Concerts is crazy. The whole stadium shakes. Like when the Watch the Throne was popping, the whole thing shakes. But a lot of these celebrities feel like most of them are just famous.
Yeah.
and they let the fame get to their head. And I look at them like, yo, fam, you just an average, you just a regular person. You bleed like everybody else. Your pocketbook may have a little bit more chicken in it, but you're just a regular person. You go through issues like everybody else. Like, man, in Jamaica, we have the saying, like, these dudes be acting like they shit could make patty or they shit don't stink. Yeah.
You know who
That's
else was
what,
real when I was doing radio, and he had just dropped his first CD, and he was super cool. Ludacris was cool as all get out. And I mean, we hung out with him. They were playing dominoes. I mean, we was just chill. And then once he came to the event, he just really came to autograph and just kind of just post up. He wasn't performing anything, but he was just chilling with us, you know. And he's like, "Come on, Shay, you got to take a shot." I was like, "Man, I don't drink that." He said, "Come on, Shay, this Ludacris. You know, we hung out today." And so I took my first shot of tequila with Ludacris. But anyway, but he was a real cool dude. Another person that was real cool was David Mann, that plays Brown.
oh, the
You
little
know,
short funny one. The little short
yeah.
funny one.
And
Yeah,
let
I
me
don't
tell
know.
you,
Mr. Brown with the
he,
ashy knees.
You know
yes, let me
that
tell you,
dude is super
he's so,
young.
huh?
That dude is younger than what he portrays. He's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
He's not that
because
old.
yeah, his wife, she came because she was our MC. We had a gospel show, a gospel fest, and she was the host. Tamla Mann, she was the host. It was Karen Clark and LaShawn Pace for people that's in the gospel world. And so, because David Mann is her husband, he came with her. They came, he live in Dallas. Dallas is right up the road from Shreveport, Louisiana. So they came, and when I saw him, because I had to, take them to their dressing room and not knowing that he was coming. And so when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I hugged him. We went in the doorway and I hugged them both. And the first thing I said, "So what's up?" And he looked at me and said, "What you talking about?" I did this. I said, "What's up, bro? What you got on this wave? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?" I just started pop locking off point. And so when I started pop locking, he started dancing too. And we were battling each other right there in the doorway. And then Tamala said, "See, that's why he act like that. Y'all stop doing that." And she was just cracking up laughing. He said, "I like you. I like you." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You weren't ready for that." But he was so cool. But y'all, I'm real silly and I like to have fun. So when I see people have good energy, that's why I was so disappointing, with the Morris Chestnut and the Tyrese. I was just like, man, I'm not no groupie, but I'm gonna show you love. But when you close people out and keep them from showing you love, and these are the people that help you get to where you are, yeah, man, I ain't feeling it.
You know who's down to earth too? Like David Banner. David
Yeah, yeah,
David Banner will walk around like nothing.
yeah.
Um, I know, like another down to earth is a New York MC, Styles P, DMX. They walk amongst the crowd. They just chill, and Styles P is one of the most gangsterous dude you will meet. Like he doesn't know seriously. He doesn't play that like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's on 10. Like certain, it's a different energy with him, but it's cool. Like the level and the balance is fire. You know what I'm saying?
So I've never really had a negative experience with anyone I've ran into. However, there was one particular person who portrays himself as if uh he's really like stern, which is Marshawn Lynch. So I met Marshawn Lynch. He has his beast mode storefront here in Oakland, and I had went there one day to purchase some gear, and he was there. So I automatically, when I walked in, I expected him to be exactly how he was to the media, and he's nothing like that. I mean, the dude has a conversation with you. He walk around the store. He cracked jokes. He cracked jokes about his workers. Like he's not that person that you would think he is on television. So I had asked him, I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna get a picture from you. And he was like, no, no, you're not getting a picture from me because of the way you just came at me. And I was like, oh, okay. So then, instantly I moved away from him. And I went up to the counter to pay for my merchandise. And on the way out, he walked up to the door and snatched my phone and took a picture of both of us and just started laughing at me. So he's not that dude that, when you see him on TV, you like, damn, Marshawn Lynch don't play. He's not that dude at all.
He's I feel like he's down to earth. I feel like he's a real one. And the media, he's not a fan of the media. You can tell that based on how he interacts with them. But when you see him like at the camps and how he deals with the kid, he comes off like a father figure.
He definitely.
And that's him.
And see, that's exactly, that's him. Another one like E40, he's another one. He's very, very down to earth. Like he
Ugh.
doesn't even he is. E40 is very down to earth. Like I ran into him in the restaurant, and it's based on when he see you, he throwing it up to you like, hey folks, how y'all doing? And he don't even know you. He just know you in the same place as him, and he know who he is. And he speak to you before you speak to him.
And then he finished every line with ugh.
Well, when he out with his wife, he's very, very cordial. He speak it, he keep it pushing.
I see him say that in the interview too. It's like his wife run things. Yeah.
You can tell when he with his wife, he stay pretty, he walked that fine line and do what he's supposed to do. But he definitely gonna speak to you.
Behind every strong dude is a strong queen, man. Our younger generation needs to get that. Like, women is on the same level as you. The reason why you're on the same level as a woman is because she blew breath into you. So a younger generation just need to get that, because what they failing to see is that they're so traumatized. They take that one situation, or how many situations they've been to, and put it on every queen within society to make it seem like every queen is that way. And it's vice versa for the younger generation, a woman as well, And I feel like it touches bases on the topic, like they don't know who they are. They can't answer that question. Like earlier what we was talking about, you see when you take away the titles from people, they really can't give you a definition of who they really are, because they never spend time long enough with themselves to know who the hell they are. Plain and simple. Are you muted, Queen?
Who was that?
Oh, okay. You were still.
I'm here.
Rich said he met James Brown and he talked to him for 10 minutes. He's like, I didn't understand nothing he was saying. He's like, I could tell he was saying something deep. Then when he was finished, he said, you know what I'm saying, young brother?
And he really
I could just imagine how that conversation went.
Hey, can I really tell y'all James Brown is a real piece of work? James Brown, rest in power, King. They allegedly stated that he had a situation with his wife. Like he probably put hands on his wife. James Brown came out of court or jail, and the media was asking, like, how did you feel when such and such? I love everybody. Everybody is love. I am an embodiment of love. So we're going to focus on love. He is the number one deflector. Like, he deflects so well. He's like, every time it's James Brown, what's the situation between you? We good. It's all love. I love her. She loved me. And we're going to practice love. We're going to move in love. We're going to sing in love. We're going to even touch in love. Then you stop and you wait, like, did he just do that to the media? Like, right. Oh, man. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. I forgot. I met this one celeb, and we were talking so normally, you thought I was a celebrity the way he was talking to me. You know, but it was it was a great experience. So I have a question
What
for y'all,
celebrity
Queens.
was that?
Huh?
What celebrity was it? Who was it?
I don't remember the name. I'd have said it a long time ago. See, I wasn't trying to incriminate myself. You came back. What celebrity is that?
Come on, man.
I would have volunteered. And no disrespect if you out there and you remember my face, fam. Oh man, but Wale, man, like like he's a cool dude on screen, but like we went to the Tabernacle downtown. You know what the Tabernacle is, right? Like my brother brought
No,
my.
no.
You're in Oakland. Stay in Oakland. I'm talking to shit.
Don't do my sister like that. Did you just blast her? I got you.
That's why I said. That's why I said no. No, we don't know about that over here. West Side.
I know, right?
Man. Yeah.
Throw it up, baby. Throw it up.
Yeah, East Side, all right? Straight east. New York, the Rat and Apple. So so Black Cobain, I don't know if you ever heard Black Cobain. Like he made a song over like I forgot the lyrics. It's like Young Gifted and Black. He singed over the Jamaican song Young Gifted and Black. So he wasn't a Wale's artist. Wale came to the Tabernacle drunk for his show, and his artists out blew him out of the water. Black Cobain wasn't playing. Like you could see he was hungry. You know, even Pusha T's performance was better than Wale's. It's your show. You were drunk, King. Like, how do you show up to your own show? Twist, like forgetting his lyric and joint like that. And I was like, yo, that's crazy to me. You know, and then
he had a rough day, Richard man. He had a rough day.
And then two of the other like Black Cobain is a down to earth brother. Like if you even reach out to him on IG, he will text back to you. Bugle is a down to earth brother. I don't know if the Jamaican artist called Bugle. Who's the other one? Pusha T is dope. Pusha T is a dope one too. Like he's down to earth as well. You know. So the question I want to ask y'all is, right? On your born date, who was the biggest celebrity then when you were born?
I have no idea.
All right, so she's thinking. Why you think I'm gonna say Prince? Prince dropped Purple Rain on my birthday year. Purple Rain was the album that dropped on my birthday.
That's the only reason you really brought up the question because you know Prince dropped the album. That's all. You know we were gonna be shooting blanks. That's all that was.
1984.
You see how I was quick to say I have no idea.
1984 was the best year. All right.
Look. I remember going to the drive-in to see Purple Rain the year.
Hey, why they thought Prince was sweet when Prince was screwing everybody's girlfriend?
I don't know. I just never thought that. You know
they thought Prince was sweet, but Prince was screwing everybody's girl.
Hey, let me tell y'all want to hear something funny? Y'all got to get Rich Lamar to tell you about when he and Rick James went at it.
Rick James. Not Rick and Rick James.
Hey.
We have to have him on screen. He can't put his little avatar up. He's got to be live. So
that's hilarious.
Him. But I tell you, I would be laid out. I'm telling y'all that conversation is funny. You gotta
Hey,
so
Rich,
I'm calling you out. You gotta tell us the story. Well, I already know the story. But yeah.
Rich, come from backstage. We need you live, Rich. Get on here.
Him and Rick James. Oh boy.
We need you.
Did Rick James have that jacket on with the fringes when they got into it? He was shaking them fringes.
You're rich. Rick said, "F your
He
couch."
was doing the Harlem Shake with those fringes on.
Rich, Rick James said, "F your couch."
Yeah, I'm telling you, that story right there is so funny. Y'all would be dying. Rich, you know you got to come on and tell a story. What he
Oh,
say?
he said he met Prince and he just gave him gestures. That Prince give Prince like he was deaf. Prince gave everybody gestures. Did y'all see when Trey Songz went ahead and sing his song Purple Rain? He looked like he wanted to get up out of his seat and punch him in his face. Like you could see the disgust on his face. Like, yeah, really get this youngster nun singing ass to sing my song? The disrespect. Oh man.
I see that award. I never done that. I would have never put Trey Songz up on no Prince song. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That was why. That was
Prince ain't like nobody that did his songs. Look at all the Prince tributes. You don't like nobody.
Let me tell you, no, real talk though. Let me tell you who he liked. He liked Janelle Monáe.
Wasn't that his girl?
No. But she was a true artist. I mean, she's a true artist, but she represented him really well. I think she did Let's Go Crazy. I think she did a good job, and I mean, he gave her mad love. So,
dearly beloved.
That was really a question. Now you knew being Shanae wasn't really gonna have anything, but you just
exactly.
But you've been around celebs all the time. Like, there's no way that you can't tell me you don't have a celebrity. Like, matter of fact, what year was it? What year was it? I bet you I could find something. What year was it?
1969.
Ew, that's a freaky number.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Who was?
Out of control.
Really.
Oh man, 1969. Oh man.
Who was a popular artist then?
Oh man. Wow. You and Jay-Z them the same age?
Anything? You see anything?
Hold on. No, they brought up a lot of celebrity that was born in that year. I need to rephrase the question. Matter of fact, let's look at the president. Who was the president in 1960? Oh man. Richard Nixon.
Hey man, I had nothing to do with the dude. I just showed up. You know what I'm saying? I hit the table 1:00 in the morning on a Monday, April 28, 1966.
Rich says Sly and Family Stone was the celebrities back then.
Okay. What about Shanae? What's your year?
78.
Oh, that's when the Billboard started, per se.
That's what?
The Billboard 100 started in 1969.
Oh.
She was born, Shanae said 78.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shanae said 1978.
Definitely not an 80s baby.
You're on the cusp. Be quiet.
78. Who do I little man, I don't know.
Let's see.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, because all of our celebrities are Europeans. That's why I was laughing.
I was raised watching MTV and VH1, so yeah, I can see that.
Like Amel Clooney.
I can see that. Billy Idol was one of my favorite artists. Okay, I can see that.
Asking Kusher. I say one of the top person that's out of that era was what's her name?
Who?
Um, what's it? Diana. What's her name? Gourier or whatever. The one that played the Queen in Black Panther. The one that took the wig off and toss it in
Oh,
dude's face while she was kicking ass.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was born that. I don't really see no celebrity. Maybe Rich can tell. Oh, Rich. Oh, snap. Rich said Rick James is your celebrity, Quinn.
Oh,
Oh,
really? Okay.
Michael Jackson came out with Off the Wall, like one of his most underrated albums.
off the wall.
Um, underrated. It was an underrated album. Um, but why you think people continuously run from who they actually are, or never aim to discover who they are?
Fear,
Fear of the unknown.
fear, definitely fear.
So you think they rather focus with the facade and to be something that they're not, basically.
Because they've been riding that wave for such a long time. You know,
And it's
you ride
comfortable.
the wave, yeah, absolutely. When you ride the wave of a degree, the look, the car, the house,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
children, white picket fence, and
Mhm.
rode this way for so long. I mean, you really feel like that is your character, that's who you are. But you never have taken time to really research what is it that you really love? What is it? What's a natural gift that you have? You know, so many people have suppressed their natural gifts for the sake of gaining things that don't mean anything. You know, that's not going to bring you happiness. It's just you really serving other people because the things that you're trying
Mhm.
to accomplish just so other people can say that that's what you have. So you can talk to people like Rich was telling me about his cousin. You know, his cousin's like, yeah, man, I got this 8 bedroom house and all my kids got their cars and we got this degree and this, that, and the other. But man, I mean, but who are you though? Do you really know who you are? I mean, fear, it plays a huge role because people really don't want to know who they are, because if you sit there and you try to gather who you are as a person and you realize you don't have any depth, you realize that you don't know what your gifts are, you don't even know your strengths, you don't even know what makes you tick. You know, you have really drawn from this whole presence that you have served everybody, and that fear is real. Nobody wants to sit there and face themselves. I find one of the things that if you really want to kind of test yourself, just stand in the mirror and look at yourself in the eye and keep saying, I love you,
Mm.
I love you, I love you. Looking at yourself in the eye, just keep looking at it. And you'd be surprised how many people can't even stand there looking at their own reflection in the mirror and say I love you without like, I don't have to do this. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I don't want to do, you know, can you look at yourself?
Do you do you feel our parents or parents kills children potentials?
I I saw it a lot as a teacher, so yeah, I saw it. Um, I think sometimes, because we want our children to be better or to do better than what we've done, and we push them to other things that are really not creatively sound for them. We want them to do this because it makes money. Set your eyes on this goal because it just makes more sense. We need to have a doctor in our family, but this child may be gifted in art. I used to see it all the time. So because I'm one of those people that my hands have got to be moving. I've got to be able to touch things and see how they work. And because, I had a small class, I had all boys. So that's how we learn. And I learned a lot just by allowing them to be themselves. Not, hey, line up in a straight line, don't do this, don't do that. We sat down on the floor. You've got to allow your children to express themselves. Here in this state, in Louisiana, because Rich didn't even know, we don't have art and we don't have music. So
What?
whenever, yes, real talk.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so whenever you pull that out of the school, you really stagnate black children, right? Because we that's the vibration that we flow on. We flow on the frequency of art and music. So whenever you take that away and you force a child to be regurgitate and memorize things in a book, they're going to be disconnected. So you have children that's not paying attention because you're not reaching them where they are. So that's why I enjoyed teaching at the school that I was at, because that was what we did. So we harnessed that eclectic, child that gravitated towards some, stuff that other classrooms may have thought was weird, because they love science and they love bugs. If you love bugs, come on, let's talk about it. Man, I used to on YouTube, I used to put the Battle of the Bugs on, and we would sit there and, we would bet with fake money. Don't write me off, y'all. But we would bet with fake money which bug was gonna win. But you got to meet the children where they are, And I think we miss the mark when we do that. So if the
That's
child is, yeah,
that's funny. My sons love that show.
man, me.
So thank you. um, but yeah, being you is a powerful thing. And KRS One said one of the greatest things. He said, when you no longer pushes a clock or work for somebody, you really find out who you are as a person. Because you have all the time in the world to know what you're good at. A lot of us does not take time to figure out who we are and how we do certain things. Some of us are afraid of our own gifts. You know? Some of us
Let
are
me.
afraid of our own gifts.
I want to pose a question to you, both you and Shanae. Shanae, I want to start with you, Queen. Because you're a parent and you have sons. Uh, what are some of the things that you do to elevate them to be their best selves? What are some of the things that you've done for them that you may not have received when you were growing up? What is it that you've done to make sure that they walk in their own truth, in their own light, their own vibration?
Um, One of the many things I do is the number one thing is listen to them. Listen to them and meet them where they are. Something that no one listened to me when I was a child is always like I had to listen to someone else. When I'm I have my own personality. I may have been a little person or a little female, but I was still a female. So what I aim to do with both of my sons is listen to them. And in listening to them, it's also teaching them the skill of learning how to listen to someone else because they're receiving that from me. So whenever something goes on, the first thing, I don't aim to always tell them something. And I also ask them a lot of questions. As a kid, no one asked me any questions. Like, they didn't, it wasn't how you feel today or what's going on with you. Well, it was always, here's what I want you to do. Here's the food, eat, go to bed, get ready for school tomorrow, get up, clean up. It was just always like an authoritative type of environment. So what I aim to create with my children is an even exchange. Even. I'm going to listen to them. Once I listen to them, I want them to listen to me. Then I want to hear their opinion on what I said. Like I give them an opportunity to use their minds and think things through. I let them ask me questions. I ask them questions as well.
Man, that's good. That's good. King,
And
what?
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
And what I was going to say is, I also recognize um, who they are, like their differences. Like I don't like, one of my sons is really, really lazy. And I try to allow him to embrace that, but also remind him of, how being clean will make you feel better, right? Then I have another son who's very, very judgmental and tries to tell me everything, and I let him say it. But then I'll also say, well, look at it this way. Like, what if you handled it in this way? Versus, nah, that's not what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do, because I know, because I've been down that road before. I don't treat them like that. I just don't shut them down.
Um, for me, I have moments where it's crazy. Me and my 7-year-old be bumping heads. It's like a love hate relationship, but I love him to death because he's the exact embodiment of me. But his mannerisms is like his mom, right? The younger one is just so carefree. He don't care about nothing. He don't care. He walks into church. He feel like singing. He gonna sing. He don't give a damn who's watching. you know. Um, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. And to piggyback off of what Shanae says, you got to watch them and let them tell you who they are. Before I was like a drill sergeant, like, yo, you got to do this, you got to do that. And then I realized this is not of me. That's not generally how I feel. Now it's like it hurts me to either see them in pain or them feeling a certain way. Like if I got to scold them, I feel some type of way, but I know it's the right thing to do, and I have to do it as a man. Like I got to be stern with them, and then have the moments where we just play and we take it up to 100. Where I mean, kicking and punching and all that. Like I have the little, because I love martial art movies, so we have the little moves of like the voice changing, like, oh, so you think you're bad, and you start playing with them and just having fun and stuff like that. I let them Now I let them be them. But what I've realized with my youngest one is he's bored. Like this system that they call school, this institution bores him. It's like he's above it. And sometimes I get frustrated because I'm looking at it as like, oh, you got to do what you got to do. But like you said, what if that's not what what if we're supposed to create another means of learning for him? Like Shanae was talking to me today, giving me some gems as well. Like, find out where he's at. But as a father, you cannot do that over the phone. They have to be within your presence. But the crazy thing about being a father is that you get to see them. Like you're driving the car, you playing the music. My boys love music, by the way, because I used to play music for them in the stomach and talk to them. The older one, he used to get on my nerves. Like he would hitch up in the left side of the rib cage and kick and stretch. That used to hurt. So like at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got to be at work for 6. Hey, can you rub him and calm him down? I'm rubbing the side of the rib and stuff like that, not getting no sleep. But in the early stages, Queens, like I wasn't the man I am now. I didn't understand what it was to be that father. And I didn't know that as a father, your work is never done, even when you pass them on to somebody else. Your job is never done. Like you'll be a parent till you're no longer here, because they're gonna transmute your legacy, because you were born with 2 titles, right? You were born with the one that you was giving at birth and the one you leave behind, and the ones you're gonna leave behind is them. So I'm learning a lot, and every day they change. But they're very profound kings. And like even today, my younger one, like, Daddy, can't you see I got things to do? I'm like, what? I'm saying in my head, like, you got things to do. I'm like, you better shut that damn computer off and talk to me. you know. And then like the older one thinks he's slick. Like when it's time to have a stern conversation with him, he He's playing all serious, like he's more depressed than anybody else in the world because he know it. Oh damn, I got to talk to daddy now. So let me take that playful face off and look all sad so daddy can feel. So I'm like, no. I'm like, fam, since you were 4 years old, I was giving you the business. No, I know what you're doing. I know what you're capable of. Like, cut that crap out, you know? But what I do as a father, I don't aim to kill their potential. I aim to heighten it. So when they come to me about something and I don't know how to do it, we look it up together. And the thing that I do as well, they be like, if they say, Daddy, I want something, but I'm like, oh, that's not created yet. But Dad, I'm like, go create it. Go find a way to build it or create it or do something. You know, and I feel like that's how males learn. You know, like you gotta feed their curiosity, and at the same time give them everything they need so they don't have to question or lack anything to go against what you don't need. Because you remember when our parents used to tell, don't go there, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, I did my what's his name? Bernie Mac voice. Shit, don't do what? I wonder what's over there. Okay. Going over there, gonna do that, gonna do that, gonna do that. Because you never prepared me. You just dictated to me why I shouldn't do it. So guess what? I want to do this shit just because you said it. That's why, like, now as a man, I'm like, yo, you tell me don't go left, and I could sense that is bullshit because your energy is trying to keep me whatever a certain way. I'm like, shit. So realistically, I need to go right because you told me to go left, and that's how I flow. And I yield.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it's so funny because, as listening to both you and Shanae, as y'all talking about, your sons and their individual selves can because I know you just said your 7-year old, your oldest son, you could tell, by looking at him, he's you all day, but he has your uh his mom's, characteristics, um now Shanae, and you said your baby, he's more carefree. And let me tell you, that type of personality, you want to harness that, because that carefree and just free spirited, don't put him in a box. He, because that right there will lead him on a very, very creative adventure. And it would
Look at
take
this.
yeah.
Look at this. So at we had them in private school. I want to tell you this. We had them in private school, right? So the older one would sit there and play in his head and watch everybody else. Like, he's the more serious type. And I'm like, oh, that's what I mean by my mannerism, because I go in the room, I may not speak in the room. I just may watch the room to sense who is who from, test the energy, like putting your foot in the pool. So that's what he does, right? The younger one, teacher called us, like, there's this one teacher he couldn't get along with. No matter what we do, no matter how we talk to him or try to scold him, he just never liked this teacher, right? Then we started realizing what it was. This dude was teaching the kids in the classroom. The teacher used to come to us like, he's smarter than everyone in the classroom, like, no joke. Right? So in the beginning, we went to the school and we said, can y'all give him a placement where we could send him to a magnet school? And they said no. So a month later, they started analyzing. Then they came to us and volunteer to take the placement test. And I said, no, we're not going to do that, because now you see the benefit. You want to benefit from what he's given, but you never believed in his benefits when we were telling you to place him. Because when you have certain kids that have certain magnitude within a school system, it benefits the school. It shines light on the school, right? But they never believed in them. But when they saw that it can benefit them, that's when they wanted to do it. It was like, hell no. Let him be who he's gonna be.
So what was it about the teacher that he didn't like?
I don't know what it was, but he just don't like this woman. It was just something about him. He used to talk. He used to come home and talk about the teacher, like, fam. And this is a 4-year-old. Like, yo, like every time he see her, like his energy would drop, or he would look at her a certain way, or he would do things. She tell him to sleep, and he would be awake. Like, I ain't going to sleep. Who the hell? I slept last night. Who the hell told y'all I'm going to sleep? I'm here to have fun. Like, screw that. You know? And the thing with him too, right? Is I find it's very funny, but don't cross him. Like, if you do something to him, this dude, he's a tourist too. That's the crazy part about it.
Why? And
This
why? I felt that. I felt that in my spirit.
this dude, all right, you just punch me in my arm, I'm gonna let you believe everything is chilled and we friends. You see, as soon as you're not looking, boop, punch you straight in the jaw. I'm like, and I get mad too. I'm like, those are some grown man hands. Those are some grown ass man hands. That wasn't a little kid. Like, a little kid ever hits you and you want to fight them? You know? So like that's what it is, man. Like, it's fun. It's fun being a parent, man. It's just sad that a lot of us don't see the benefits of it, and we take away the potential from the child, and we try to make them succumb to society when they're more vast than society, and they're here for a purpose, and we aim and we kill their potential and so on. And Shanae, the thing I would say, I know you said your son is, you said, not me, Miles. She said you were lazy, but what I've realized, you give a lazy person something difficult to do, and they will find the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you gotta cater to that part of him. You know,
I let him chill with his laziness. I let him be him until it gets to be too much, and give him a friendly reminder that, it's time to clean up the room. I don't care how you do it. Let's get it clean.
But is it really laziness though, Queen? Or is it that
Nah, it's not. He's not lazy. You
is
know
it
what? He's actually very comfortable in his skin. He's not lazy at all.
exactly?
He's just comfortable. And that's what I really, really like about him. He's very, very comfortable. He has his own style. He has his own way of doing things. He's very in tune with himself. And I admire that about him. He's actually who I was before I started to like take on what people told me I was. So I'm very protective of him and allowing him, like, his school. I get phone calls from his school all the time. And they expect me to come down there and side with them. And I sit there with them. And I remember I was in a whole school board meeting, and I said this in front of everyone. I said, what I'm not going to do is I'm going to be on my son's side. I understand what you're saying as a teacher, but this is my child and I have to stand behind him. Now, when I get home, will I have a conversation with him? You're absolutely right. But I was not at any moment going to let him feel like I was going to take the teacher side, even though he may have been wrong, but I wasn't going to deal with it there. And I made it clear to them, this is not the way I function with my child. I don't care if he was right or not. He's mine.
Okay, Queen. So what is your closing statement for the show?
What's my
Oh,
closing statement?
Yeah, we sitting here having so much fun. Y'all didn't realize we above an hour and 30, huh?
oh, yeah.
So what closing arguments, or what would you say to someone that have no clue how to be them, but they're them, they just don't know how to tap in and generally be them? What would you say to them?
Are you talking to me?
Y'all can play ring a ring around the rosy and figure out who want to go first.
Well, I'll go first. The one thing that I want people to take away from, because we got sidetracked, but we still came around, to letting everybody know whether we were talking about children, students, ourselves, people that we've met, we still were in the vein of talking about, honoring ourselves and knowing who we are, um, who are we, and why are and not to be afraid of those questions, not to be afraid of self. A lot of times, we won't take time to sit still and talk to ourselves, meditate, pray, whatever that looks like for you. But we need to do that. It's a better way of understanding our direction, your direction, understanding our energy, what frequency we flow on, what is it that what is it that really makes us who we are. And I love every minute of it, because I've been on this journey for a long time because of the fact that I've always been different and I've been okay with being different. So I've just embraced it. And I know a lot of people are just coming into, this part of themselves right now, where we are right now. Everybody was at home, everybody, the movement is started back up. But for the most part, we were at home like several months, right? And where we were in close proximity of family and ourselves. And so that would have been the best time to just really take the time and honor ourselves, sit still for a moment. We were forced to sit still. So I just think that a lot of people may have come out better on the other side of it, not realizing that that was a journey that they were taking. So, just really knowing who you are and just trusting it. Trust, trust the process. Enjoy the process. It's not hard. Lo- it's it's a great thing. So
Shanae.
What was the question again?
Yo, I'm to the gal, man. Yo, you end up on the show, the CM show, the 2 away. Oh, you're not gonna know where we are chat, boy. I want a bomb, yo, hey, I want a blueberry muffin. I want to you.
Go ahead, host.
I'm not the host. The host is just speaking.
Oh, well, co-host, go ahead.
Shanae, summarize, please. What would you say to a person that's unaware of themselves, that are themselves, but fail to identify themselves?
Okay, so what comes to mind when you say that is, you know, there's this song Kanye West had called "When It All Falls Down," right? So, he talks about in that song how you can have all these degrees and all these different things and have all this stuff. So what I would say is what happens when you're alone and by yourself is what matters. Don't be afraid of shadow work. Don't be afraid of going within yourself and dealing with both the better parts of you and not the so better parts of you, or not the so good, or whatever way you want to categorize it. So my that would be my advice. My advice would be, outside of the outward appearance, focus on the part that's not out in the open for everyone to see. And that's where you will find yourself, your true self, and walk in your truth. Don't be afraid of shadow work.
that's good.
Okay. So I guess the ultimate closing, right? All right. So what I look at and what I see is, you are the person that farts, you are the person that cries, you are the person that smiles, you are the person that laughs. You're the person that's up and you're the person that's down. So above, so below. So positive and negativity brings forth that balance. Gravitate to your negative side. Let it flow with your negative side. Don't try to conquer your negative side, right? Just flow with everything. For me, flow within the now. Enjoy right now, every moment, whether it's imperfect or perfect. Just enjoy everything. Analyze that tree, analyze that blade of grass, take your shoes off, walk outside on the grass, sun gaze, um remain comfortable, because people that has many faces, when you put them back in their natural habitat, you see the true them, and that's one thing. The body can't stay tense for 24 hours a day. It gets back to its relaxed format. Just enjoy everything and question everything. Even question yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself. Like I hear little gestures like, "Oh, you can talk to yourself, but don't talk back." Says who? You know, says who? It's like we ingest everything that everybody else has said and we mask that. It's like we're searching for ourselves, and it's like we're digging dirt. There's a multitude of surfaces, and we keep digging, and we're all the way at the bottom. But it's fine. It's worth that work to actually find who you really are and remove the layer of other people. You know, life brings forth struggle, right? And struggle is a part of the flowing. So, with that being said, I will say gratitude, elevation, and bliss and prosperity to everyone that actually watch and participate on the platform. For those of you that would like to actually participate, please send me a friend request at King Jermaine on Facebook. Like and subscribe on YouTube at MEN-talRollaDeK. Follow us on Twitter at MEN-talRollaDeK and follow us on IG at MEN-talRollaDeK. And with
Okay.
that being said,
Wait. But
I'm
wait, there's
Rick
more.
James.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, I had a Pashay's. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I had a Pashay's word that I wanted to share. Can I share something?
It's you're the host. It's your show. Do what you want to do.
Okay.
Jermaine is
Well,
not
this
gonna
is
be in this and be talking this much. I'm just letting you know. Go ahead.
all right. So this is one of my words. I have a short little piece, and then I'm just gonna finish it off with another little bit behind it. But this is a Shay's word number 12. It's just a word of affirmation for everybody that's listening. Ignoring love for self can make others wealthy with the resources of your riches. Know your value. Simply put, ignoring love
Mike,
for self can make others wealthy with the resources of your riches. Know your value.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. So this one right here. This one is just titled "So It Is." So I'm just gonna roll with it real quick. Somebody pass me a mic and watch me attack it with a vengeance. Acoustically
Okay.
acupuncture, penetrating the tissue of dead soul, verbally resuscitating life like into dry bones. I speak release anchors, just call me free. And so it is. So
She's like,
I
yes.
like that.
She's like, yes.
just call me. I'm gonna continue to be free. We're all gonna continue. Know thyself. That's all.
and and and
And
the wordsmith narrator, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man.